Somewhere over the rainbow, no, he's not a bitch. Anyway guys, going to the Blast Pro Series in Madrid, we do see ENCE finally coming through and breaking down Astralis as they take the first place at that event. ENCE won this event beating Astralis on 3 maps where they met them in the group stages earlier in the event where they took out Astralis 16-13 on Dust 2. The only loss in the event was actually to NiP where they lost 16-5 on Nuke. Now the grand final between Astralis and ENCE started on Nuke where Astralis were looking to make it 32 LAN wins in a row, but ENCE came out with a strong 11-4 CT side that set them up when they switched over to the T side. Astralis were able to get 5 rounds back, but ENCE closed it out with 5 on their T side. It then went to train the map pick of ENCE. ENCE, with the momentum of breaking Astralis' nuke streak, went into this one feeling pretty confident, and that was evident with their 7-8 T side. This really set them up for an easy time when they went over to the CT side, where they finished it out with a 9-5 half, closing out the series with a 16-13 map win. More importantly, winning 2-0 against Astralis. Now, small note, Giants got through the qualifiers to represent Spain. They had some very good showings, and it'll be interesting to see if we see anything more from this side in the future. Now, moving over to Neo joining FaZe Clan. Now, normally this would be a part of my Rooster Shuffle segment of 5 minutes of CSGO, but I think this one needs a little bit more detail and a bit more attention. We do see the Polish legend returning to competitive Counter-Strike after his exit from Virtus Pro in December. His debut for FaZe Clan will be against his former team in Virtus Pro in the ECS Season 7 Week 4, where it's already happened actually, where they lost 2-1 in that best of 3 series, where Neo only got 23 frags over the whole duration of that best of 3. But then after that, we're going to be seeing them following up in DreamHack Dallas on May 28th, where it's going to be his real first LAN for this squad. But with this signing, Adren's run in FaZe Clan will be coming to a close. Neo will be taking upon the IGL role, and with his wealth of experience, it should definitely be a good fit for him. Now, obviously, this is what we've said about FaZe Clan. We've always said they look good. They always look good on paper, but we always see that they just lack. They should be a world beater, and that's what we always thought they were going to be. But they've always lacked in that department, and, you know, hopefully this is going to be the one that really turns it over. Otherwise, you know, I'm not going to really have that much hope for this FaZe Clan side. Now, Neo being a bit rusty as well may make him lack in the firepower department, but, you know, we're just gonna have to see. It might take a bit of time to get that rust off, but it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what he can bring to this lineup. Now, I think it'll be important to get the ball rolling good. Obviously, they didn't perform in ECS. They're already out in Week 4. But DreamHack Dallas, that's going to be a really important event, especially after their lackluster performance at IEM Sydney. Obviously, that was due to visa issues, but we better see some more coming out of this FaZe Clan side. Now, heading over to the ESL Pro League, we're going to start off with the Americas, where we did see day 1 of the Group A, or the second group stage A, for the Americas happen, where we had Complexity take on the Renegades and Made in Brazil take on Isurus. Renegades were able to come out on top there with a 2-1 win, and so was Made in Brazil with a 2-0 over Isurus. When I wrote this, I didn't know who was standing in for Renegades, but it is Smooya standing in for them for Grada's faction at the moment. That's been extended. Now, both Made in Brazil and Renegades should be considered favourites in this group nevertheless, and I think it really comes down to the matchup between these two teams. Now, in Group B, we do have C9, E United, Ghost, Infinity. This group is actually quite even, and I think we can all agree that C9, E United, and Ghost do actually have a good chance at making it through to the LAN finals. For me, however, I do see Cloud9 as being the favourite just purely based on their experience as a team together, and I think that'll give them the edge against the rest of the teams in this group. However, I would not be surprised if Ghost or E United are able to topple through. Now, heading over to the European region, in Group A we have Aristocracy, which is the ex-Devils 1 roster, Fnatic, Hellraisers, and Optic. I think in Group A, Fnatic is definitely the favourite, especially if they can bring their form from IEM Sydney and Star Series. However, if they don't show up in style, any of these teams can be able to beat them and have the potential to go through. And this is really interesting. Now, we did have the first day matchups happen as Hellraisers did beat the ex-Devils 1 roster, and Optic did take down Fnatic in a bit of an upset there, 2-1. Now, heading over to Group B, we have Big Clan, Heroic, Na'Vi, and North. Now, In Group B, we have the same thing, but Na'Vi is the clear favourite, but it's similar to Fnatic, you know, if they don't show up, you know, these teams are going to be able to beat them, but I feel like Na'Vi, however, I think they're more likely to show up in form. I feel like they're a bit more consistent. The only thing is they always get off to that slow start, so if they do that here, it might make it a little bit tricky for them to get through. However, I feel like it would be a good chance for Heroic to be able to make up for their performance at IEM Sydney, and they should be able to challenge the likes of Big and North. Now, heading over to the roster changes, other mentions and invites and qualification. You know, in other news, ECS Week 4 has commenced in case it was missed earlier. Heroic bench Mertz for Native Safix. Vitality qualify for ESL 1 Cologne. Hiko announces free agency. MVP secure ESL 1 Cologne spot. Furia take down Ghost to qualify for ESL 1 Cologne. Anyway, it's been a lovely episode of 5 minutes of CSGO. But 2Tap Tony, you're a bitch.